Hi guys, I hope you're good. I've got a van life question and answer video for you today. Sorry about all of the background noise, I'm in a car park. But let's get straight into it. First question that I've been asked is, what is the best place and the worst place that I've been to in my van? I can't think of a worst place because I've enjoyed everything for different reasons. I've had a couple of experiences that I might not want to repeat, like when I broke down on the way back from Manchester and I ended up having to sleep in the car park of the garage. And I've had a few trips away where the weather hasn't been very good. But living in England, if you're going to wait for good weather to do anything, then you're never going to get anything done. So yeah, really I can't say that there's been a worst place. In terms of best places, the things obviously that stick out are the Peak District, because I go back again and again. And the favourite campsite that I've stayed in definitely has to be the one that was just outside Birmingham. It was like a wild woodland camping. It was great. You pitched up right inside the trees and had a fire pit right next to the van, and the guy who owned the place came round and chopped down the firewood for me. So that, yeah, that's definitely the best campsite that I've stayed on. Someone asked me if I had any plans to live in my van full time, and my answer is no. I think I would like to try it for maybe a week just to see if it was possible. Obviously it would be possible, but how comfortable it would be, I'm not sure. My van is very small, and although I really enjoy going away for a few days at a time, I like knowing that I have somewhere to come back to, and I do always look forward to that, sleeping in a proper bed, having a proper shower. But yeah, if you'd like to see me attempt to live in my van for a week or so, let me know and maybe I'll make a video about that. A lot of people have asked me if I've got any plans to buy a bigger van, and at the moment I don't. What I like about my van is that I can use it as an everyday vehicle. Parking's quite limited where I am, and I drive around London a lot and other big cities, so yeah, parking's an issue. Also, fuel economy, I get a lot more miles per gallon than I would do in a bigger van. And when I've stayed in bigger vans, I haven't found that there's been more useful space than in a small van. You get the advantage that you might be able to stand up, but the beds are the same size, the cooking area is usually the same size. So for me, in terms of usability, I don't think at the moment that it would be worth changing and getting anything bigger. And what I also like about the smaller size is that people won't necessarily look at it straight away and think that's a camper van, there's someone sleeping in there. I think it's easier to blend in if you're not sleeping at a campsite. Yeah, so no plans at the moment to get a bigger van. I do think that in the medium term I would like to get a newer van, just with some different features, but I think it would be of a similar size to this. There's a couple of tweaks that I would like to make now to the layout, just where I've been using it for a bit longer and got to know it more, and what I use and what I don't use and what would be more helpful for me. So yeah, it's something that I'm kind of thinking about and planning for in not the immediate future, but not a million miles away. Another question that I get quite a lot is whether I feel safe and what sort of precautions I take. So far, I've never been in a situation where I haven't felt safe. Most of the time when I go away, I will stay at a campsite, which is my preference. I like having the security, the facilities, and knowing that I'm not going to be woken up in the middle of the night and moved on. However, when I have wild camped as well, I've never had a problem with feeling safe. I will always share my location with somebody and the plan of where I'm going and what time I'm expected to be there, contact details or name of the campsite if I'm staying at a campsite. When I'm wild camping, I make sure that the driver's seat in that whole area is clear, so if I need to jump into the front, I can do that quickly and get away without having things in the way and unnecessarily delaying me. I will sleep with the keys right next to me, so I can just grab those and go if I need to. Obviously I lock the doors when I'm sleeping, and I've got this big torch here, so if I heard someone coming or peeping into the van, then I can shine that into their eyes. It's pretty bright and it's quite heavy as well. But yeah, so far I've not been in a situation where I haven't felt safe. And kind of linked to that, people ask, how do I choose where to stay? So as I said, most of the time I prefer to stay on a campsite, and I usually use PitchUp or campsites.co.uk to find campsites. There are also a lot of Facebook groups that I'm in with lots of reviews and recommendations of different sites. But if I'm not staying on a site, then I will see where I'm going, whether that be for walking or for an attraction or to see someone. And then I'll go on Google Maps, look at the satellite view, go on Street View, have a look around. There is an app that a lot of people recommend called Park Fortnite, which is quite good, although I wouldn't use it as gospel recommendations. But yeah, I like to just look on Google Street View, have a look at parking restrictions, different options, and see what I think is best. I like to always park near to houses or a pub or a hotel, something like that, something where I know people are going to be around overnight. A lot of people have argued with me that it's safer to be more off the beaten track. I know I got some grief because I showed in a video that I was sleeping in a lay-by. Obviously I wouldn't do that if it was a road that was busy overnight, but if it's a road that doesn't have much traffic overnight and it's close to houses, or in the video that I showed, it was right next to a pub, so I felt safer being closer to other people. But yeah, I think you just need to do what feels right for you and your situation. But there are lots of good resources online where you can see where other people have stayed and what they've thought of it. And you find once you have a van, you'll be looking around all the time and making a mental note of this place and that place. That'd be good to camp in. Someone asked me what my dream destination would be. I think Scottish Highlands and Islands. I'd really like to take the van up there. Seems to be a bit more of a chilled out atmosphere around, people sleeping in vehicles up there compared to down south, and just some fantastic scenery and brilliant beaches. And I've always just enjoyed driving in Scotland. There's so much less traffic and people just seem to be a bit more courteous and less in a rush. So yeah, that would be my dream destination. And someone asked, how do I choose which destinations I visit? Sometimes it be based on people's recommendations, or I might have seen a YouTube video of somewhere and think that I'd like to go there too. I sometimes revisit places that I haven't been to for a long time, or if I'm travelling with someone else and they've got somewhere that they want to go, then I'm happy to drive them there or tag along. If I've got an event or if there's someone that I want to meet up with, then I'll sometimes tag a trip onto that. So if I know that there's something going on in a particular area, then I'll look for campsites in that vicinity and see something that takes my fancy. A lot of the time it's going to depend on how much time I've got off of work. If I can only go away for one night, then I will look at something within 1 or 2 hours drive from home. Obviously if I've got longer, then I will go further afield. But yeah, I've got a big long list of places that I want to go to, even though I go back to certain areas again and again. But what I like places that have got good walking. Places near to rivers or canals are always really good. I like to go and nosy about on the local waterways. And for me personally, what I like is places that have got quite direct routes to get to them, so fairly close to a motorway. I know that might not be other people's preferences, but I'm not overly fond on the driving. I just see it as a means to get to my destination. But yeah, as always, if anyone has suggestions on places to go, I'd love to hear them, especially places that might not be so mainstream or popular. And then finally, the last question that I got was, what is the best thing and what is the worst thing about having a camper van. Hands down, the best thing for me is just the freedom. I've got out and about more in the last year than ever in this country, and it's encouraging me to spend more time outside because I know that I can drive pretty much anywhere and I've got somewhere nice and warm to come back to and I can sleep in the van. Then, you know, it encourages me to go out and do bigger things than I would have done in a car, because when you're in a car you've always got to worry about driving back home. So yeah, definitely that, it's the freedom. And even you don't have to go a million miles away. You can go half an hour down the road, or you can go to your local park and just set up there, open the doors, have a picnic, or, you know, have a lie down. Yeah, it's just brilliant. It just opens so many more opportunities for you. Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, even if you're stuck in traffic or something, you can just reach behind you, or, you know, pull over quickly, and there's food and there's drinks and there's a change of clothes and loads of different things that I never thought about having in a car, you know. And it's really easy to change your plans. Say, for example, if you're driving back from somewhere and you do get caught in traffic, you can just pull off the motorway for a little bit, go and have a nap somewhere, have a meal. You know, you can still live your life, really. You know, you're not always constantly worried about, I need to be at this place by that time and I need to be back at that place by that time. So yeah, it's just like a much more chilled out experience. There's never any rush to get anywhere. But of course it's not all perfect. There are some downsides to it, I suppose. And I guess the worst things I would say is that it can get very untidy very quickly. So you have to be very strict about putting things back in their place right away. And every time that I come back from a trip, there's always a mega clean-up session afterwards. If the worst thing is something so insignificant, then I'm not even going to worry about it. Thanks for all of those questions. If there is anything else that you would like to know, leave a comment down below. I will try and answer as many of them as possible, either in the comments or maybe I'll make another video. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Okay, bye.